Welcome back to another devlog where I developed my dream game, a PS1 style character action game called Advent Act. We have a lot to go through today, so let's skip the intro. In the last devlog, I showed off the third pillar of the game, being the top-down shoot-'em-up section. That was fun enough to play around with for a while, but now it's time to add something to actually fight. The first boss I'm creating for the game is the Monitor, or at least the head of the Monitor. Let's get into some lore. The Monitor is an immensely powerful being, created by the world to protect itself from otherworldly creatures. The Monitor scans the skies for threats, and manifests fragments of itself to fend off these foes. The Monitor plays its part in the ecosystem of the world, and is as much a force of nature as the wind and the tides. The idea of the Monitor is that throughout the game, during shoot-'em-up sections, it summons parts of itself to fight the dragon. It's like Exodia. You'll fight it piece by piece, starting with the head, until you face the fully assembled body one last time at the end of the game. You see, in the world of Advent Act, dragons are not native to the world, and come from a far distant planet. Because of this, the Monitor sees them as a harmful threat that must be extinguished. When the Monitor attacks the player, it is attacking the dragon and not the player character. The closed level sections of the game will have its own bosses, separate from the Monitor, who is only intended for shoot-'em-up sections. Before we continue, if you want to follow along with the development of this project and don't want to miss out on future devlogs, consider liking and subscribing. For the design of the Monitor, I'm going for a techno-organic look. The mandibles that make up the jaw were inspired by the Predator. A while back, I tried to make a low poly version of the placeholder character model. This was a failure, but it did give me this low poly head I could use as a base mesh for the enemy. I'll not get too into the modeling process since it's pretty simple. I'm happy with how it turned out though. I look forward to building more body parts as the development continues. In Unity, I applied the materials and made some simple animations to enhance the experience. I wanted to create a short intro for the boss to emphasize the gravitas of the battle about to occur. I made it so the enemy's health bar grows from the top of the screen until it reaches its full size. After a short pause from when the game has started, the Monitor lets out a roar that shakes the screen. This was done by a simple impulse effect on the Cinemachine camera. During all this, the player is unable to move or attack. For the Monitor's attack, I made a new projectile, a spark ball. This was similar to the fireball with some minor adjustments. I created an electric effect using some simple textures and a particle system. I of course added HDR colors to the effect too, with some post-processing bloom to enhance the electric look. This made the boss's projectiles look unique from the players. I also added a damage animation to the dragon that is triggered when hurt. I decided the head of the Monitor would have 3 attacks, and will transition from one another after its health reached a certain point. The first attack is the straight fire attack. With this attack, the Monitor is constantly rotating towards the player, shooting an endless spew of spark balls. This is a simple enough attack to dodge, but makes for a good warm-up. After the player reduces the Monitor's health by 1/3, it moves on to the second attack. This attack is a radial attack, where the Monitor rotates itself left and right, back and forth like a sprinkler, shooting spark balls at a slower speed, building up a wall of attacks floating towards the player. Now is a good time to mention the Monitor shielding. Not to make the boss too easy, I made it so when the player gets too close to the Monitor, a brief flash of a protective shield appears, and the player gets pushed back, taking damage in the process. The last attack that begins once the boss reaches 1/3 of his total health is the spiral attack. In this attack, the Monitor continuously rotates 360 degrees while also ping-ponging off the edges of the screen. The Monitor's protective shield makes this phase of the battle even tougher, as the player needs to be more aware of their position than before. I made it so I can control the rate of fire and speed of the projectiles for each one of these attacks, making it easy for me to balance difficulty as I playtest. One thing I did was give the spark ball some health. To make the boss more challenging, I made it so the ball would take 4 fireball attacks to be destroyed, changing colour on every hit. I also added a simple red colour flash to the monitor's skull to indicate when damage was taken. Here's the finished result. I made the player more powerful than usual just to speed up the demo. There's a few things I didn't get time to do that I want to add in the future. The biggest one would be creating a sort of death animation and outro. This would really make the boss feel like a feature complete, game ready boss from beginning to end. Another thing I want to add is the ability for the dragon to dodge, giving a few invincibility frames during the animation. This will probably make more sense to do later as the monitor becomes more difficult. One thing I didn't mention is that at some point during the development of this feature, I changed the sky background to be a night sky. I just found it contrasted better with the characters on the screen than the day sky did. That's all I have for today. Apologies for this one taking so long to come out. I was on vacation for a while and didn't get a chance to work on the project. I'll try not to take as long with the next one. If you made it this far into the video, you're probably already subscribed, so I don't need to ask. Have a great day, and as always, thanks for watching.